Hello and welcome to Nerd Party, the show where we take time to celebrate all that is gloriously nerdy.
And I'm Johnny Vu.
And I'm Christopher George, and this is our fantasy cast edition of Nerd Party, where we take future, potential, or even current comic book or video game properties, and we discuss in our very humble opinion of who we think should be the ideal actor or actress to take on that role. But before we get into that, I just want to say, the best part about being a film and comic book fan, especially at this time, is that now that Marvel and DC are getting into these obscure properties, we have the opportunity to speculate on characters we would never have thought would make it onto the big screen. If you would have told me 10 years ago that they were going to do a Justice League, an Avengers, or even a X-Men Fantastic Four crossover, I would have been like, no way. But now, we can get as obscure as doing the Beyonder or Thanos or Miss Marvel.
There's even what's his name, Deadman and Constantine, random names.
Yeah. It's an exciting time to be a comic book, and it's an exciting time to be a nerd in general. So,
yeah, it is. And if you're not one, it's a perfect time to start, right?
Yep. That's what this show is all about. It's about being okay with, it's cool to like the things that you like. It's cool to be nerdy. Don't who cares about what other people say? You're just gonna stress out too much if you do that. But anyways, so who do we got first?
All right, who do you want to toss up first?
I'd say I think we got Doctor Strange on the agenda.
Right, let's do Doctor Strange. So, if you guys don't know Doctor Strange, he's been in the Marvel universe for a while. There's maybe one animated movie about Doctor Strange. His name's Stefan, right? Yeah, Stefan.
Yeah.
Stefan. And,
Supreme Sorcerer.
Yeah, he
Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, Sorcerer Supreme. He was a doctor. He was a surgeon. There's probably different reincarnations of Doctor Strange, but this is the one I know. He pretty much is a doctor. He grew up because his sister was sick, and he vowed to become a doctor so that he could be her physician and try to fix her and stuff. So it didn't really work out, and his sister ended up passing away, and I guess it made him a little bit bitter. So he was in this accident, a car accident that just made the nerves on his hand not work as properly as they do for normal beings. And he was just really bitter, and he went on this whole journey to pretty much try to revive his hands and use all his practice, right? Yeah. And he pretty much, tried everything, and he just became broke at one point. And there's another sorcerer, I can't remember his name, but he offered him the opportunity to get his strength back in his hands or whatnot. And long story, he becomes a Doctor Strange as a sorcerer, and he uses magic. It's kind of like the Green Lantern, if you really think about it. The more he wants to be supreme and stronger, it comes from the inside, and it's just all magic and stuff. He's pretty cool.
He inherited the title Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
I forget how, but he essentially is the greatest sorcerer
in the Marvel universe.
So.
And it's a nice change for the character too, because everybody's you've got Iron Man, which is tech and stuff, so it's kind of cool that they throw in that magic. You see it in Thor and whatnot, and then
a little bit weary about how they're going to tackle it, because magic is kind of an abstract thing, and especially if they're going to have it in a grounded universe.
For some reason,
I don't know how they're going to pull it off, but again, Kevin Feige,
I'm sure
has been doing some amazing things right now, so it is what it is. So,
so who do you think could play?
Okay, so I have
Doctor Strange.
I had some honorable mentions. It's been going around that Patrick Dempsey should
Grey's Anatomy
should take on the role, but I don't know. Here's the thing, when you're gonna take a comic book or video game property, and you're gonna evolve it into a franchise that's gonna last 2, 3, 4 movies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to go with an older actor,
Right.
because you want to invest in someone who's younger, so that in the event that that age takes over, like it's not going to affect his ability to perform. Of course, there are exceptions to that rule, but I think ideally you want to go with a little bit someone who is younger. So I actually think James Franco would be absolutely perfect for that role. He has a great dramatic range. He is an Academy Award nominated actor, aside from that whole Oscar hosting debacle. He's a real talent. He has charisma.
Yeah.
He can do comedy. He's done superhero movies already with he was Hobgoblin or Goblin or whatever he was there.
Harry Osborn, yeah.
Not the greatest, but that wasn't his fault. I don't think it was his fault. Sam Raimi was just on something during those few months of production, but I think he can pull off that cocky neurosurgeon type of thing to the humble, wise sorcerer, and he can pull off that mustache really great. He certainly will be eye candy for all you ladies, and some guys if that's your thing. But yeah, my vote is for James Franco for Doctor Strange.
I think there was talks of Johnny Depp being.
That's
being,
right. I wouldn't mind that.
He'd be an alright one too.
Yeah.
If you see
he's
him
in the same age range as Patrick Dempsey, but I think they were in talks with Johnny Depp about something. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but Marvel was in talks with him. I'm not entirely sure if it was Doctor Strange or not, but nothing came out of it, unfortunately. But he would have been great as as
I think James Franco could do it. I have no complaints if you did get cast as it. All right, cool. But I don't know. Like all the movies that he's been in recently are just like, what are they? Just
like
comedies.
This is
right?
the end.
So,
but he did 126.
127 hours.
127 hours, which he was nominated for an Oscar. He did a James Dean biopic, which I think he was really great. He pretty much was James Dean in that film.
I haven't seen that one. No.
If you look into his resume, like he's a real talent in Hollywood, and you can expect, like, even if you don't cast him, you can expect great things from James Franco.
All right, who do we got next?
Black Panther, I think.
Black Panther, eh? All right, so Black Panther's a pretty interesting character. He lives in Wakanda, which is a little civilization that they kind of branch off in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or in the universe, sorry.
Somewhere in Central Africa.
Yeah, somewhere in Africa, and they try to stay away from everybody, and their ways of living is very, closed off and classic, and they just stay in their little home or in Wakanda. And I think the story goes again, many different, like the Ultimate Universe, many different things. His father dies.
Yeah,
his father dies. So which is he was assassinated either by the Chimera or whatever. You like to whatever, he dies, right? And he was the Black Panther at the time. Yeah. And now his son has to become pretty much the Black Panther, and
you have to be of royal blood to inherit the title of Black Panther, because they gain their superhuman powers from an herb called the heart-shaped herb or something like that. And I think that's where they get like super strength, stamina, healing factor.
Yeah, and they also have a vibranium in the Ultimate Universe. I think they just they're in a cave, underneath their village or whatnot. Their city is just vibranium, so they manufacture weapons, and that's how they, that's how they stay
wealthy and
wealthy.
For those who don't know what vibranium is,
it's what Captain America's shield's made out of. So. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, essentially,
bullets, Thor's thing.
It absorbs
Thor's hammer.
vibrations.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So his suit is made out of Vibranium, right?
I have no idea what a suit. I've always seen it like latex. I have no idea what it's made out of.
I think it's vibranium laced, so
Yeah.
it's able to
Oh,
stop
okay.
knives and bullets and stuff like that. But I think I heard that
Man, these guys are good at
yeah.
turning them into
I know.
threading and.
I heard that like if you do slash across the grain of his
Right.
suit, you could like cut him that way.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
I wonder what they're gonna do for the suit for the movie, though.
Mm.
We were saying earlier how we hope it's like a full mask, no mouthpiece over here.
Yeah.
Don't show any arms.
yeah, especially with my reasoning for
Yeah.
for who I think should play Black Panther. But do you have any
I was thinking about what were we saying? Michael B. Jordan, but he's now Human Torch. But
Yeah.
I don't think that really
No, I don't
matters
think
because
that
it's
affects it at all.
Fox and thing. Yeah, he's got a crazy acting range. Saw him in Fruitvale Station because you told me to watch it, bruh.
Yeah, bruh. If you haven't seen that movie,
Yeah, go
watch
watch
that
it.
movie. It was the only movie of 2013 that was able to make me shed some tears. But yeah, no, I loved it. He was really
Yeah, I
good.
think if they were going an older route, or maybe even his father, they could do like Idris Elba. He's a great one. He's a great actor. He's from
Idris is
Pacific
amazing.
Rim. He wanted to be. I think they wanted him to be James Bond at
Yeah,
one point.
yeah.
A Green Lantern.
How awesome would it be to have
Yeah.
a black James
Yeah,
Bond?
it'd be fucking dope. Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think?
Well, I also have a few honorable mentions. When I first think of Black Panther, I thought of Michael Jai White, who was one of the gangsters in The Dark Knight Rises. He's currently Bronze Tiger in the show Arrow, and he was Spawn in the late 90s, early 2000s. But in terms of acting, he's great, but he's mostly been in like C to B rated flicks. Like he doesn't have that much of a range, especially with a character like Black Panther, whose story does have a lot of political narratives that are tied to it, like racism and just stuff like that. So, and then I heard like amongst fans that they wanted to cast Chiwetel Ejiofor. I forget how to say his name. But he was nominated for Best Actor for 12 Years a Slave, which was a fantastic movie. He was so good in that, and I could see why they would want him. But I'm gonna go with my who I think should play Black Panther. I'm gonna go with Jimon Honsu, who was Solomon. He played the character Solomon in Blood Diamond.
Yeah.
He's also currently cast as he has a role in the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
You can see him in the trailer.
Film. But I think he was so good. For those of you who know me, Leonardo DiCaprio is my all-time favorite actor, and Blood Diamond is easily in my top 100 favorite flicks of all time. And Jimon was just phenomenal in it. He was nominated for that role, and sadly, I think he got snubbed. I think the actor who was in Little Miss Sunshine won that year. But
great movie too.
which was a good movie too. But man, the emotion that he was able to portray in that film, like he was good.
Really
like,
showed that he was like a family man and whatnot. And I think
if
he was Black Panther, that'd be fucking bad.
Yeah, like man, he is older. Yeah, he's almost like in his 50s, but I don't think that should be a problem because one, black people have great genetics. They like look at Samuel L. Jackson and Denzel Washington, who are in their 60s, and they look not a day over 40. Like I don't know how they do it. Good genetics, and also like Black Panther wears a mask.
Yeah.
Like they could CGI like all of his action scenes. They do it for Spider-Man. I don't see why they. But basically, case in point, his dramatic range, and the fact that he is a philanthropist. He takes part in humanitarian efforts in Africa. That he actually cares about that continent, and he will I think it will translate great on film. He'll be able to like
I'm sure his accent will come off as Wakandian or
Oh,
whatever. I think it'd be fine.
I love like his accent, like Dia, what are you doing? Dia,
it'd be really good.
It's awesome. He's good.
Yeah.
All right, who do you got next?
We got Namor.
Yeah.
So pretty much the Aquaman of the Marvel universe. Namor. His backstory was his father. I think it was like Alexander. No, something Mackenzie. Mackenzie.
Yeah.
I know that's his last name. Anyways, he was pretty much looking through the sea. I think they were looking for like vibranium as well or something like that. And
I haven't read too much of.
Well, anyways, he comes across Atlantis. Okay, it was something like they were trying to blow up some ice, and then actually Atlantis was underneath.
Yeah.
And he pretty much sleeps with Namor's mom, and it's pretty much a half. Namor is a half like human and half Atlantean.
Yeah.
And his powers would be pretty cool too. So you can pretty much be telepathic to animals.
They kind of did that with Percy Jackson.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Half human, half.
Oh yeah. Plus this movie belongs to Universal,
right.
not like Marvel.
Not Marvel or
Marvel Studios
Fox or Sony.
Yeah,
it's Universal. It's the only comic book property that they have currently.
But Namor has super strength. He doesn't age as regular humans do. Just all that stuff and some like
intellect.
Yeah, he's really smart, endurance, stamina, blah blah blah. Super fighting skills because they all train in Atlantis. And I think there's some reincarnations where he has like electric abilities, like an eel, and he could fly because his like at the bottom of his ankles or whatever. There's some weird wing shoe thing.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm like that's pretty much Namor. He's pretty much like Aquaman, but he also is kind of weak when he comes out of water. For a long period of time.
Fish out of water.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but I think they could play that into the story, which should be cool.
By the way, these three characters are from the Illuminati of the Marvel universe. Basically, the Illuminati comprises of like the top ranked heroes of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You have Xavier, Mr. Fantastic, Tony Stark, Black Bolt, Namor.
I think he's also in like the Inhumans. He's in a lot of. He's in the Avengers as well. Like they're in a lot, but. One thing I want to know is how are they going to pull off this outfit? Because honestly, he's usually just in underwear, and his legs are just out there with his little wing thing, and then his body is just ripped with his little trident thing.
I think they do like kind of just the pants.
Yeah, I think they might. And then just
like ripped guy.
All right, so who do you think could play them?
I had a tough time kind of like picking out who I thought Namor should be, especially because I haven't read too much of Namor.
See, but that's a good thing too, right? Yeah. So he's never I think he was in like the Fantastic Four cartoon or something like that. But there's not many concoctions of Namor. So whoever gets the privilege to play this character can do his own thing.
Yeah. So what I did was I just I googled actors who had like black hair and was like prominent actors, and then I came across Tom Welling, who was in Smallville. So he's done the superhero thing, and I actually saw yesterday a movie called Parkdale, which was about the JFK assassination. Zac Efron was in it, Paul Giamatti, Billy Bob Thornton. And he played like this Secret Service type of guy. So he does have like characteristics of like leadership.
Right.
But I actually am gonna go with Adrian Brody, because I think he looks perfectly like who Namor should be, and he is an Academy Award-winning actor for The Pianist. I think that was in 2002. If you haven't seen The Pianist, You have to go see that movie.
No, he's not saying penis.
No, I'm not saying penis. But that movie was so goddamn good. I took a Holocaust course in college, and they showed that film, and I was just blown away by like his acting range and like the emotion that he portrayed. And he's also done like Predator, like the Predator reboot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it personally. I didn't hear good things, but like that's not everyone. Not everyone has a bad day, you know. Like like even like the great even Daniel Day-Lewis like puts out. Well, he hasn't put out a bad movie in a long time, but
it's all right.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Adrian Brody. He has the look. He's tall. He's muscular. He's a phenomenal actor. I think he can pull it off well. I did also come across this this prominent Italian actor. I forget who he is, but he was in The Tourist and Under the Tuscan Sun. Those are two.
He kind of looks like I can't remember his name either, but he kind of does look like Namor and stuff. I think some people have photoshopped him and like The Rock and stuff.
You know what's perfect about him? He was, prior to being an actor, he was a champion swimmer. So they wouldn't have to train him for anything.
Let's get out Michael Phelps then.
But Michael Phelps as Namor. But yeah, like I think he would if they gave him a chance. There's not too many Europeans in Hollywood, but if they gave him a chance, I think his accent would also contribute to that otherworldliness of that's portrayed as an Atlantean. But again, like good actors can put out accents on a whim like that. So it shouldn't be a problem for whoever they cast if they make the right choice. But I'm gonna go with Adrian Brody.
Yeah, good choice.
Back on screen.
Awesome.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think these are all pretty good choices. Yeah.
All right, so that's it for us today. If you agree with anything that we've said, or if you have any ideas of who should be cast as these characters, leave it in the comment section below or tweet to us at Nerd Party Talk, which should be right here.
Somewhere here.
And you can follow us on Twitter there. And you want to plug your handle?
Yeah, at Jonny Vu. Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Everything's the same.
Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter at __ Christopher G.
You figured it out this time.
I figured it out this time. And on Instagram, Christopher George XO. That's it for us today.
Yeah,
hope you liked the video. Thanks for joining us. And remember, celebrate your nerdiness. Bye-bye.